Okay, so we've talked about proving triangles are congruent, and then once we've proven that triangles are congruent, that the corresponding parts of those triangles are also congruent. So now we're going to take a look at some other figures. So today we're going to look at a parallelogram, and we are going to prove that the opposite sides of a parallelogram are congruent. Okay, so we're given that ABCD is a parallelogram, so I've written that down as our first step in our flowchart proof. And we are trying to prove that segment BC is congruent to segment DA. So that's our last box in our flowchart proof. Okay, so the first thing that we can do is we can sketch our diagonal there. And since we know that segment AB is parallel to segment CD, then we know that angle ABD is congruent to angle CDB. Okay, and that's because it's a parallelogram, so the opposite sides are parallel. So we know that angle ABD is congruent to angle CDB, and that's by alternate interior angles. Okay. Now, because we also know that segments BC and AD are parallel, then we can say that angle CBD is congruent to angle ADB. So again, angle CBD is congruent to angle ADB. And again, that's alternate interior angles. Okay, so now we can say, all right, we've got two angles. Well, these two triangles, ABD and CDB, they share this side. So we can say that segment BD is congruent to segment BD, and that is the reflexive property. Okay, and so now we can say that those two triangles are congruent. Okay, so I'm going to say triangle ABD is congruent to triangle CDB. And I know that because of angle, side, angle. Okay, so now I've shown that those two triangles are congruent. And so, oh, I didn't put my arrows. So there's my side, there's an angle, and there's the other angle that flow into make that angle side angle. And then we have, because we have two congruent triangles, we know that corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. Okay, and so now we've proven that segment BC is congruent to segment DA. We could also say that segment AB is congruent to segment CD for the same reason. So now we've shown that all of the opposite sides are congruent.